All right, guys, so check it out. We are back at it again. We got another 2024 Model 3 Performance Highland Edition, and we just got our final production pieces from Mountain Pass Performance with the coilover conversion kit. So we're going to go ahead and get these installed. We're going to set up the ride height, but we are also going to add some Aspira spacers to flesh out his warp wheels, some Mountain Pass Performance front lower control arm bearings, the rear camera arms obviously to get this alignment in spec, and then we're going to see how this thing rides. So let's get this thing in the car and get it set up. Let's go. All right, so check it out. The last one that we did, it was a bit low. So this one I think we're going to set up more conservatively, but right now you can see you've got about, let's say, about a 3-finger gap up in the front. And like we always do, we will take physical measurements with the yardstick. And you got almost 4 fingers in the back. Let's get these numbers down and let's get these coilovers in the car. All right, so check it out. We've already assembled the front damper with the MPP Highland Coilover Conversion Kit. Now, one thing I wanted to mention to you guys is when we did our first launch of this product, there were some comments in our video feed as well as some Facebook groups where guys were like, why would you do that coilover conversion kit? That's so antiquated. That's from like the 80s, 90s, even the 70s, whatever. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that this factory damper is very, very unique in that it has a floating spring perch. This spring perch can be removed from the damper, and you can see that right here. So this spring perch is floating. It literally just slides right off. And then you can apply and install the threaded sleeve from MPP to convert this thing into a true coilover. So now, take a look at this. This is an actual MPP coilover that comes fully assembled, basically, manufactured by KW in Germany. And you can see it is just like that. It has a threaded body with the spring, just like this. This looks like a real coilover now. So here's the thing. A lot of guys were like, oh, but that's so old school, you know, the new ones, they have this independent, you know, ride height adjustment and spring preload. And yes, I mean, they do have that, but if people don't understand how to set up suspension, they can really create a lot of problems on their vehicle by doing that. So you have to have some fundamental knowledge on suspension setup in order to utilize those systems and do it correctly. Now, the reason why, in my opinion, that a lot of the Asian companies went to that setup is to actually reduce manufacturing costs. And the reason for that is it allows them to have more universal part numbers with the damper bodies. So for example, this is a threaded damper body. It slides and threads into an independent bracket. That bracket on the bottom is proprietary to whatever vehicle that you're installing it on. But the tube, the threaded tube, let's say, for that damper that contains the actual damper is relatively universal. They'll have different lengths of them and so on and so forth, but it allows them to have fewer part numbers on the shelf. Whereas a company like KW here, they have to build each one of these and weld them and assemble them individually for every single vehicle. That takes a lot more work and effort, but you won't make mistakes because they've already calculated all the critical shock lengths, just as the OEM manufacturers have, and I'll explain. So let's say you get one of these other types of coilovers. It has, you know, a very short stroke damper. You shorten that body up, that overall shock length up a lot. You've got like 4 inches of compression stroke on the shock itself. But let's say your car is so low, you only have like 2 inches under here, or you only have 2 inches of room between the top of the tire and the fender liner, or the sway bar and the tie rod. A lot of different things that are taken into consideration with OEMs and really high-end suspension systems that you'll find out of Europe. So let's say you have 2 inches of room for the vehicle, but 4 inches of room in the shock. Just think about it. You're going to have a problem. You're not going to engage that bump stop before you bottom out the chassis or something else obstructs the vehicle. Well, that is not going to be the case with a system like this. All of that is taken out of the equation. It's already preset for you. You adjust the height by adjusting the preload on the spring. It is a linear rate spring, so that spring rate does not change based on how much preload you add to this. And that's what a lot of people just don't understand. They're like, oh, but you're adding so much preload to the spring, it's going to ride stiff or whatever. That's just not how spring rates work. Look up linear spring rate, look up progressive spring rates, and you'll have a better understanding. But without further ado, let's get this thing on the car and get it going. Oh, one more tip. You want to make sure when you assemble this system, there's a bead here that this spring floats on. This sleeve is going to slide over that and get all the way down to here. Don't make the mistake and have this rest on top of that bead, because your car will be like a monster truck. All right, let's go. All right, guys, this baby is done. I test drove it twice. It took a little bit to adjust the height because this is our first final production MPP Highland Coilover conversion kit. So we do have numbers for you. We do have an install video as well. So if you guys do purchase the parts from us, we will share that with you, as well as some of these spring perch adjustments so you guys can hit your target ride heights without too much going back and forth. But check it out now. He's got 2-finger gap. This is exactly where I'm going to set up my car as soon as I get it back. Again, check out the back, also 2 fingers. So we've made this thing symmetrical now. So it doesn't have a positive rake, it's a street car. He's got the front lower control arm bearings. We've got the Aspiro spacer on here, the MPP rear camber arm. And I got to tell you, man, it drives so good. I'm so excited to get this set up on my Stealth Gray. And thanks guys for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Check out the links to the products in the description below. And we'll keep you guys posted as our client drives this thing and gives us some feedback. Thank you.